right. All right, good evening, everyone. I call the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for Wednesday, January 19th to order. At this time, we'll have a moment of silence, but I will draw attention to one person. Some of our colleagues know this person well, but a former City Council Alderman Bill Lynn passed, was on the council for a long time. I had the nice honor to sit next to him for many years. So, moment of silence, and maybe other people say stuff, but right now that's what I'll remember. So, please. All right, thank you. Alderwoman McGinnis, if you'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderwoman McGinnis. City Clerk Brian Krupp, please call the roll.
Dunn.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
Condon.
Here.
Cornett.
Here.
Dickman.
Here.
Jobson.
Here.
And Ortez.
Here.
10 present, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Krupp. So again, good evening, everyone. As we begin the meeting of the City Council Committee of the Whole, I again like to welcome everybody in attendance and those who are viewing the meeting on any particular mobile device or electronic device. We certainly respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, but please keep in mind that as you share your thoughts and opinions, not only sharing them with Davenporters, but everyone throughout the region. We're happy you're participating in your city government, and please ask that your participation reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport a better place for everyone. Especially for the folks in here, if you please to put your cell phone on silent or turn it off, simply so it doesn't get in the way of someone talking. If you want to address the council on any specific item that appears on the agenda, please come up to the podium when called by the respective committee chair or myself and address the council as a body. You'll have 5 minutes. Please also remember there's a public business portion at the end for folks to address items that are not on the agenda. So if you want to talk about agenda item, talk about the agenda item. If you want to talk about something else, talk about at the end. But again, please talk to us as a body, not as any individual. We'll respect you. Please respect us. Thank you very much. City Administrator Spiegels, any update this evening?
Just a reminder that we will have the capital budget workshop this Saturday here in the chambers at 8:30.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to public hearings. We have 4 public hearings, all under Public Works. Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly will lead that discussion. Alderman Dunn, Public Works, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Open the first public hearing on the plan specification form of contract and estimated cost for the East 53rd Street pavement reconstruction Phase 2 project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The public hearing is closed. I open the second public hearing on the plan specification form of contract and estimated cost for the Pacific Street Overlay Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This public hearing is closed. I open the third public hearing on the plan specification form of contract and estimated cost for the Jackson Avenue Overlay and Intersection Reconstruction Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This public hearing is closed, and I open the fourth public hearing on the plan specification form of contract and estimated cost for the Modern Woodland Park Fascia Improvement Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This public hearing is closed, and back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn. Alderman Kelly. Now we'll move to petitions and communications. Any council members? Alderman Grip.
Thank you, Your Honor. I too wanted to just take a minute to remember Dr. Lynn or Alderman Lynn, or as he preferred to be called, Bill. I did not know him as an alderman. I wasn't on the council at the time. Obviously, I paid attention, but I knew Bill Lynn as a economics and entrepreneurship professor at St. Ambrose. I took a few of his classes, interacted with him quite a bit while I was at St. Ambrose, and he was just a really unique guy with a unique perspective. He cared about the city of Davenport, and the thing I always enjoyed about him was the stories he would tell about all of the small businesses that he had either started or owned or consulted for, including he owned a bakery in Southern Illinois right next to the original Jimmy John's. And so he had a lot of stories about being a business owner next to Jimmy John. So I just wanted to thank him for all of his service to the city of Davenport and give his wife and son my condolences. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Grip. Alderwoman McGinnis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just wanted to mention something that I heard about this week and wanted to share that with everybody. And this is part of this program is partly funded by our ARPA dollars, so it's launched. It is called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten, and it's through our Davenport Public Library. It was actually launched in February of last year, and in October we were able to hire an outreach person. That the library's staff have been doing a great job promoting it through social media and through, at the library. But this is really a chance now for us to take this further. Allison McCauley was hired as the outreach person, and it's very exciting. In less than a year, really, there's 600 families who have signed up for their children, and the goal is to read 1,000 books with your kids before they go to kindergarten. So it's really aptly named and easy to understand. There's sort of, you reach certain levels, you get little prizes that are connected to reading and things like that. So that 600 people have signed up. Over 57,000 books have been checked out in relationship to this, and already before 12 months, 14 people have completed it. They've completed 1,000 books. Allison is really going to be working hard to do outreach into the community, even further out. She's done a lot of that already. This is a great program. Reading is early reading is one of the most important things that a child can do or a family can encourage a child to do to really get ahead and have a jump start on learning as they get older. So you can find it if you go to the Davenport Library website and Google 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. You can find all the details, and it sounds like lots of fun. So let everybody know about it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderwoman McGinnis. Alderman Cornett.
I'd just like to thank Public Works for doing a great job in the 7th Ward, keeping the streets open and clean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Cornett. Anyone else? So I mentioned it, moment of silence, Bill, and I know Alderman Grip did, so I just want to say sympathies and prayers and thoughts to his family, his wife and son. Again, I sat next to him for many years here. He cared about his constituents, cared about the city, so we have all the thoughts for him as he did service at Davenport, and it's now passed. So, anyone else? Very good. We'll move on. Now we'll move to the 4 items of discussion at Committee of the Whole: Community Development, Public Safety, Public Works, and Finance. The first area is Community Development. Alderman Grip and Alderwoman Lee will lead that. Alderman Grip, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I open the discussion for community development this evening. Item number 1 is a resolution approving case P22-01, being the request of Splendor Homes, LLC, on behalf of KJTLC, LLC, for a preliminary plat of Splendor Estates of a 47-lot subdivision on 26.11 acres located at 2448 and 2460 East 60th Street. Is there anyone from the public who is here to comment on this resolution? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, this item will move on. Item number 2 is a resolution setting a public hearing for the purpose of amending the North Urban Renewal Area or Renewal Plan. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this resolution? Anyone from the council? This item will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution setting a public hearing for the purpose of considering the approval of an economic development agreement with PB Liner USA. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this resolution? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, this item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution approving an economic development agreement with RDIP LLC. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Step to the lectern, state your name and address or ward, please.
So I'm Aaron Vandemore with Russell Construction and Development. Address is 4700 East 53rd Street. So to date, we've been working on a 95-acre industrial park in Northwest Davenport. I think been here before to discuss that project. So just wanted to give you a little update as we segue into this development agreement. So on this 95 acres, Russell is developing, as of right now, 6 industrial warehouse and distribution centers. As we speak, 2 of the buildings are under construction, which is about 550,000 square feet. Due to this construction and this plan of this industrial park, there's a need to upgrade the roads that will go through the industrial park, as well as the roads on the surrounding sides of the parcel. So there will be a couple additional turn lanes, some road widening, and signalization. So Russell has been working with city officials to put together this development agreement and apply for RISE funds through the state and Iowa Department of Transportation. So with that said, we've worked on the application together and have really appreciated the help to date from the city. And Russell is committed 100% to cover any of the costs that are not covered through this RISE program with the IDOT. Appreciate your guys' consideration and for listening to this, and appreciate all the help to date. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to comment on this item? All right, any comments from the council? Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much, Chair. I have a quick question for you, sir. Oh. Where will the truck, we're talking about Northwest Boulevard
Correct.
and the 8th Ward?
Correct.
Mostly.
Yes.
Where will the trucks be coming in from?
So the entrance will be off of Northwest Boulevard. Phase 2 is the southern half of the site, and there will be a second entrance that will connect to 83rd Street on the southern half, but the primary entrance will be right off of Northwest Boulevard, and that's where we'll be installing a traffic signal as well.
And where will the trucks be coming in? Will they be coming in from the west or from Northwest Boulevard?
Primarily Northwest Boulevard. Okay. So I'd say the vast majority will be coming off of I-80 and then traveling northbound to the site.
On Northwest?
On Northwest Boulevard.
Okay.
Yep.
And how many trucks a day at full build-out, do you think?
Full build-out, I don't have the exact numbers on me, but we've worked with our engineers in the city and to make sure we'll accommodate the full traffic load when it's developed.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments from the council? Okay. Seeing no one, this item will move on. Item number 5 is a resolution authorizing submission of an application to the Iowa Department of Transportation RISE program for assistance to RDIP LLC at the Russell Industrial Park. So I know that Mr. Vandemore had explained the development from his position. I would still like Bruce to come up and kind of talk us through this, the RISE grant, the application, what they're applying for, and what the city is contributing or not contributing. Thank you.
Bruce Berger, Community and Economic Development. So yeah, just piggybacking, I think the total cost is estimated at 3.3 million. And the thought being that up to 50% of that would be covered by DOT. And then as Mr. Vandemore mentioned, if there's anything that isn't covered by the state, then our economic development agreement in the previous item will obligate Russell to cover that. So it's a pretty low-risk situation from our end. It's a great project to try to support. I think it'll help. It's Northwest Boulevard to 83rd, and Zenith is the new street that's already under construction there, so that'll kind of connect those two. So yeah, with fingers crossed, the apps are due February 1st, so approval of this action item will authorize us to submit the application to the state.
Thank you, Bruce. Anyone from the public wish to comment? Anyone from the council? This item moves on. Item number 6 is a motion approving the Citizens Advisory Committee's recommendations for the reprogramming of the unspent and unobligated Community Development Block Grant funds from CDBG year 46 ending June 30th, 2021. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, I would ask Alderwoman Lee to please set our agenda.
Thank you, Chair Grip. I'd like to place 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 on consent and leave number 4 open for discussion.
All right, there is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That concludes community development this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Grip and Alderwoman Lee. The next area is public safety. Alderman Jobson and Alderwoman Dickman will discuss that. Alderman Jobson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just have one item under public safety. This evening, a motion approving beer and liquor license applications. I will read the new license, new owner, temporary permit, temporary outdoor area, location transfers, and then below are the annual license renewals for your review. And then I'll ask for public and council comment. First is combined a Midwest restaurant, 5266 Utica Ridge Road, outdoor area, license type Class C liquor. And then R Bar QCA LLC, 4907 Utica Ridge Road, outdoor area, license type Class C liquor. And lastly, the AKA Bar, 3811 Harrison Street, license type Class C liquor. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on any of these items? Anyone from council? Okay. Alderwoman McGinnis.
Yes, thank you. So I'm moving to the renewals. Is that okay? All right, that's what I thought. Thank you. Yeah, I had asked Chief Zagorski if he could give us some comment. We have had Gillies Corner Tap, 2148 West 3rd Street. We've had 2 meetings with the owners. There have been, over the last year, there were some issues that emerged at that location. And we have talked with them, our last meeting being in about mid-October. And so I've asked Chief Zagorski to tell us tonight about what, if there's been police calls and what the nature of those have been since then, to get a kind of an update.
Thank you, Paul Sikorsky, your police chief. So since October 20th, we have had 161 calls up there. But note that 146 of those are extra patrols by the police department, just indicating that we are keeping a close eye on the activity up in that area. We did have 7 disturbances. Most of those disturbances happened outside or around Gillies, but they were dispatched to that area of Gillies. Nothing significant to add to it. We did, like you mentioned, Alderwoman McGinnis, we did meet with the ownership and management of the establishment. We recommended 9 different courses of action to help with, potentially help with what was going on. They did take action on 6 of those 9 items, and we've been in contact with them since if there has been issues up there, and they have been responsive.
Okay, so what were the 3, do you know, can you off the top of your head, the 3 items that we talked about that they did not follow through on? Or haven't
Yes.
implemented yet?
One of the ones that they did not act on is the signage, so the parking lot and the no loitering signage. The last information that I have is that those signs have been ordered but not delivered as of yet. Okay. Another one is the fencing. There has not been action on that to my knowledge. Actually, those are the only two that I can see that they did not take action on.
Okay, all right. And you said out of, there, 161, but 146 of those are extra patrols.
Yes, 146 were self-initiated by the police department and extra
Okay.
patrols.
So the other 15 were calls from them or others, or what?
A mixture of those, so seven of those were disturbances. And I think those are the things that we are interested in, or those kind of things. But most of those disturbances were outside the establishment, dispatched to that establishment. There were 2 alarms, so burglary alarms, 2 domestic violence issues, 1 warrant service, 1 public service, a suspicious or a wanted person check, and 1 harassment type of call for service in that, at the establishment. And the other item that they did not take action on are the hours of operation. So we suggested closing early, and that did not happen as well.
Okay. Are you saying the alarms, the warrant service, and the harassment charges were inside? The alarm could be an alarm, right? I understand that might be something mechanical, but the domestic violence and the warrants and the harassment were inside or related to the establishment particularly? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, and I don't have this specific, I can tell you if they were actually inside the establishment or not with some more research. I'm just telling you, generally, our officers responded to that location to handle these calls for service.
Okay. And how many, 146, I know this is hard, but, typically, how many hours is that for, if you're, I know they're doing other things, but what kind of time does it take to do 146, just drive by to check the area?
Yeah, it really depends. So it can range from like a 2-minute call for service where they're driving by, checking the establishment, see no activity, and go on to another area for checks. Or it could be an actual, half hour to 45-minute walking through the parking lot, walking through the establishment, walking through the business, talking to people. So it really depends.
I got it. Okay, I understand. And that's hard to, okay. Well, you've been very helpful in gathering this information. I may have more questions if will you be with us, you will be here next week?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Alderman Dunn.
Thank you. I just want to thank Alderwoman McGinnis, Police Department, and our legal department for putting these meetings together. I know there's been several issues, and I know the folks are trying to work on it, and I want to thank the Police Department for doing all the extra patrols. And I know it doesn't warrant pulling their license at this point, but at least it kind of puts them on notice that, hey, we notice that there's issues there, and we want you to work on them because we're not going to allow it. So thank you.
Anyone else from council? Seeing none, that I move on, then I would ask Alderman Ortez to please set the agenda.
I'd like to move to place Gillies Corner Tap on discussion and the rest of item 1 on consent, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson. And the next item is Public Works. Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly will lead that discussion. Alderman Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 18 items this evening for Public Works. Item number 1 is a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the East 53rd Street pavement reconstruction Phase 2 project. And before I ask for any comment, I believe Clay Merritt from Public Works is going to give us an update on this project.
Clay Merritt, Public Works. Currently right now, we have federal funding involved on the second phase, 53rd reconstruction and widening. Trying to do things a little different than we did last time. So what staff is proposing as part of this contract is we're breaking this into sub-phases to kind of minimize as much as possible disruption to both businesses and the traveling public. So what you see on the map up here is kind of the sub-phases that we have. Another idea that we have to try and gain as much control as we can for construction purposes is that we have in the contract that the contractor, whoever is hired, they cannot start another subphase without authorization from the city. Once again, that'll just keep us from having long stretches of roadway, where people are unable to drive on. So the first phase that we're going to start first thing in the spring is right there on the east limits of the project. They'll complete that one. Another way that we're doing things a little different, because it's a DOT project, we have working days, and that's for the entirety of the project. However, we also have working days for each subphase. So if a contractor were to go to kind of incentivize them to keep it moving, if they were to go over those working days for each subphase, then they get deducted on that one overall. So you'll see the first phase, and then the second and third, you'll see is the intersection improvements, the reconstructing and widening of those. Once again, that's for us to have a little bit more control. One of the things we want to avoid is, this will be a 2-year project, is to go into winter of the first year, having all lanes open for traffic. So if subphase 1 and 2 get completed, but we're, let's say at the end of October, we can't get 3 in, we can stop work and have everything open to travel for the public and then start back again in the spring. Our desire is have 1, 2, and 3 in year 1 and 4 and 5 in year 2. But we'll have to see once we get a contractor on board. And I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderwoman Lee.
Will this also involve utility fixing that'll add time or?
So anyone that's driven through there in the last few months have noticed an extreme amount of activity. So we've been working for the last few years with the utility companies to get things moved out of the way. You can never say everything's 100% done, but we have been able to move a significant amount of private utilities out of our way, with the idea being once we're there, we can work on our public improvement, get done as fast as possible with minimal interruptions.
Alderman Jobson.
When will that current utility work be done?
Let me check on that for you.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my only ask would just be, as phase 1, as it all gets going, just continue with impeccable communication. I'm sure the residents of the 6th Ward that are in that area will let us know if the communication isn't up to their standards. So hopefully we can avoid that.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson. Your Honor.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you, Chair, for allowing me to speak. So previously, you have a great system with communication and meetings prior to this, i.e. utilities. I want to just get clear, you've had that already, or you're having that, and the importance of them meeting their times when we need them to meet their times.
Correct. We've had those meetings. We've been having them for a long time, and Brian is our lead coordinator for our utilities. He's constantly getting updates from them. So I'll check from them what we have left to go on those different sub-phases, but we are working with them much more so.
Roger that. And then the second ask is, when the contract's selected, please, let's talk.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Anyone else? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 2 is a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Pacific Street Overlay Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Jackson Avenue Overlay Intersection Reconstruction Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution approving the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Modern Woodland Park Fascia Improvement Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 5 is a resolution accepting work completed under the Veterans Memorial Parkway paving project, Jersey Ridge Road to Elmore Avenue, by Valley Construction of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $6,427,310.20. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 6 is a resolution accepting the sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and pavement associated with the Speedway LLC Davenport Commercial Park Addition site improvements. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 7 is a resolution setting a public hearing for the purpose of approving an electrical easement and electrical vehicle charging equipment agreement with Mid-American Energy at the River Center parking ramp. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 8 is a resolution approving amendment number 1 to OPN Architects of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in the amount of $277,290 for the new Fire Station 3 project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on, and then I'll read items 9 through 13 and then ask for comment. Item number 9 is a resolution assessing the cost of boarding up buildings at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 10 is a resolution assessing the cost of brush and debris removal at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 11 is a resolution assessing the cost of condemned property demolition at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 12 is a resolution assessing the cost of sidewalk repair at various lots and tracts of real estate. Item number 13 is a resolution assessing the cost of weed cutting at various lots and tracts of real estate. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address any of these items? Council? Seeing none, them items will move on. Item number 14 is a resolution amending the resolution of necessity covering the FY 2022 alley resurfacing program. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 15 is a resolution overruling objections for the resolution of necessity covering the FY 2022 alley resurfacing program. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 16 is a resolution adopting the resolution of necessity covering the FY 2022 alley resurfacing program. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 17 is a resolution ordering preparedness of detailed plan specification, notice of hearing, notice to bidders, form of contract, and publication to bidders, and notice of hearing covering the FY 2022 alley resurfacing program. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 18 is a preliminary resolution for the 2022 50/50 cost share stream bank stabilization program project at West 62nd Street and North Elmwood Avenue. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. And Alderman Kelly, would you set the agenda for us, please?
I make a motion to set all items up for consent.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. And the agenda is set. And back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly. The next area is finance. Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett will lead that discussion. Alderman Condon, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 3 items on finance this evening. Item number 1 is a resolution approving the purchase of 3 chassis and 3 bodies for solid waste trucks with 3 trade-ins from Elliott Equipment Company of Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $591,051, CIP 10503. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? That will move on. Item number 2 is a motion approving the payment for the annual VMware visualization software license renewal to VMware Inc. in the amount of $81,129. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? That will move on as well. And item number 3 is a motion awarding a contract to the for physical therapy services to Rock Valley Physical Therapy of Davenport, Iowa. Anyone from the public wishing to address this item? And from council, Alderman Jobjan.
Just a brief reminder, and mostly for myself, that I will abstain from voting on this item next week.
Noted. Anyone else from council? And that item will move on. Below on our agenda, we have purchases from $10,000 to $50,000. They're listed there for your information, but we won't read each of those individually. Alderman Cornett, would you please set our agenda?
I move that all items be placed on the consent agenda.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And that concludes finance, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Condon. The next area is, are there any other ordinances, resolutions, and motions? There are none for this evening. And then the next item, is there any public with business? So if anybody public wants to talk about anything other than what was on the agendas, please come to the podium. Seeing none, City Administrator Spiegel, is there any reports? Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe. Thank you. We're